Okay.
Sorry, I
That's okay.
got
That's okay.
passionate in talking and my dog started barking.
Yeah, that's fine. Hold on. I'm going to do this just so I can, and the timer's going to be off. That's going to tell me to cut there. That's my weird way of having a clapper. So, okay. So now now we're on to part two. Thank you for joining us for part two, everyone. Dr. Irene, you were just talking about getting your program together and what brought it together. So let's dive into that now, because now we're on YouTube and I don't have to worry about the restrictions of my 10 minutes on LinkedIn. And hopefully everybody's come back to join us, because there's going to be some important information after we're done here. So let's get back to Success Without Sacrifice program that you put together, that neuroplasty, and that just fascinating story that you had in how you came about it.
Thanks, Bob. Yes. So the program is based on scientifically validated tools and resources that I have brought together to really, because I'm a very impatient person. It's like, what is the fastest? What is the easiest? What is the most powerful way to get results now?
Aren't we all?
Yeah, well, I can only speak for myself, and I can say it's like I always want things done yesterday.
I think that's the society, right? And that's the way we are in business today, which leads
Right.
to the burnout, right? Because
Exactly.
everybody expects everything yesterday, so we do everything we can. I have a friend of mine where I work today. She's in accounting and HR. She's getting up at 5:30 in the morning to get billing done, and she works 12, 13 hours a day. And
Exactly.
it's not like we're curing cancer where I work. We're helping people travel.
Yes.
So I get it.
And that brings up a whole nother subject that we could talk about, Bob, about the increased stress and fear, especially more so now with COVID. And there's like stats showing that most people aren't taking their paid time off. They're working overtime because of the fear, right? They are afraid that they're not going to have a job to come back to and that they're going to be expendable. And that brings to a really great point, because as an entrepreneur, and we doctors don't like to think about being business people or entrepreneurs. We have like this, we're for the most part programmed into this, what I call ivory tower mentality: be the best doctor you can be, and people will come flooding in your doors. We don't learn business in school, and yet we have staff, we have bills, we have overhead to pay. And then there's that marketing thing, because you can be the best doctor in the world, and if you can't, people don't know about you, you're not going to be able to help them or you. Right. So it's I totally get it. And that was part of my downfall, my crash and burn, flame out syndrome, as I call it. And that is, there was that fear that I had to provide for my family. I didn't get unemployment. I didn't get paid time off. I didn't get maternity leave. I took like a month off. And, when my sons were born, basically, right? Like, because that was all I could afford, because my overhead was $10,000 a month. And I was still paying that $10,000 a month, whether I was there or not. Right. This is the reality, right? So I totally understand. And here's the other part of the programming. I thought I was inexpendable, right? I thought that people needed me and that I had to give. There's that martyr syndrome.
Yeah.
That's some of the other programming that sets us up for failure that we have. And I could go on and on. And what I learned as I was lying in that hospital bed with 10 broken bones is that I wasn't inexpendable. My patients were like, oh, That's too bad. Next.
Yeah.
All those boards that I was on, next. They felt badly.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong. Lovely people, right? It's just, we live in an expendable society, and unfortunately, human life can be one of those things. The only people that I would not have been truly inexpendable to were my family. And they almost lost me. And frankly, I almost lost them. So this program, the 30-day Success Without Sacrifice training, is designed to take back that success, right? I keep saying you're designed for success, set up for failure, and release all of the baggage, all of the programming that has been dragging you back and holding you down from accomplishing everything that you want to be, do, and have in life, including and when I talk about success, yes, it's monetary and career. It's also, what does a successful health and energy look like to you? What does successful relationships look like to you? What does successful personal life look like to you? Like, instead of working 100 hours a week or even 40 hours a week, perhaps you want to work 20 hours a week,
Mhm.
right? And there's no right or wrong. It's whatever you choose, and understanding that you can have your cake and eat it too. So this program is a conditioning program, just like you go to the gym to build your physical muscle. You need to build your mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual muscle, right? Your character. Call it resilience if you want. So in other words, life is going to keep throwing curveballs at you. You have a choice. You can either let them smack you in the head, or you can knock them out of the park. So everything about this program is designed to help you hit life's curveballs out of the park, to give you the energy, the resources, the bandwidth to do so, to have the life you deserve to have. And so the conditioning part of it is every single day, there is a daily exercise to do, approximately 15 minutes. So yeah, you got to commit to 15 minutes a day for 30 days to transform your life, to transform your success. And every single day, you'll be releasing one more piece of baggage, one more piece of programming, and what I call clearing the BS that's keeping you stuck, and releasing those energy vampires that are sucking you down. Kind of like a Dementor,
Right. Yeah. I love the way that you kind of wrap in spiritual as well too, because I think that's important. And it does, in spiritual, at least in my opinion, doesn't need to be religious, right?
Yeah.
Spiritual is just like, I preach about this all the time, for lack of better words, preach on LinkedIn about gratitude and giving thanks and thanking others and empowering others. That's all part of, to me, that's part of my spirituality. So when you talk about wrapping in the spiritual portion of it, what is it that you're talking about there?
I love that you said that, Bob, and you highlighted that. Thank you so much. I want to say, first and foremost, this is a non-denominational program. And by that, I mean, and perhaps the better word is nonpartisan,
Yeah.
non-denominational. In other words, it has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with one side or another, right? It's inclusive for everyone. When I talk about spirituality, it is, we all need, humans need, it's a fundamental emotional need to know your purpose here on life, here in this life. In other words, it's why we, the question has been throughout the ages, why were we put here? Why was I born?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have a fundamental need to know. And however you choose to answer that is right for you. And at the same time, my own personal spirituality, maybe it's because I'm part Aboriginal, is that we are all energy. We are all connected.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, like when I think spirituality, I think quantum physics. Like I understand like this much of it, much as I've gone through like Carlo Rovelli's book, The Reality, the Illusion of Reality, I believe it's called, and in it, he talks about that, we think we're like this solid mass.
Mm-hmm.
And yet really, truly, we are mostly space that is filled up with energy. Right. And the energy between me and this microphone is continuous. There may be greater densities, and it reaches through, and he goes through and talks about how time is irrelevant, and that it's a myth that time is like, past, present, future, that it's like space and distance is irrelevant. So you and I are connected, whether or not you are in a different country and probably about 3,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't matter. It's that we are all connected. We are all one. So for me to hurt you would also be hurting me. For me to hurt that tree would also be hurting me. And so that is my own personal spirituality that I mix up in with quantum physics, as I said, and that's my own personal philosophy, if you want to call it. And my, in French we say raison d'être, my reason for being. In other words, that we are all put here for a reason, that this is like the greatest learning ground ever. It's like school for us, that, as I said, we have a responsibility to becoming that highest version. Every baby who is born is pure positive essence, to me, is a born genius with its own set of a skill, of talents and gifts, and first the parents and then the person themselves have that responsibility to hone those gifts and talents into their highest potential.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're all connected, to give back.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that I think it's no coincidence that people who are talking across video or talking on the phone feel a connection. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. I think there's a reason for everything. Everything happens for a reason, and it's up to us to be the best possible beings we can be, not only for ourselves but for others as well too. And that's one of the reasons why I've been attracted to you, why we've connected so well, I think, is because you talk a lot about that. When we had our first coffee with Bob, you talked a lot about that. When we had the Coffee with Bob live and your group of amazing experts, you talked a lot about that. And it's one of the reasons that I want to be involved and am getting involved in the Success Without Sacrifice seminar that's coming up. Starting kickoff call is tomorrow. Today is the kickoff, right? But the registration goes
till tomorrow at midnight. Yes.
Tomorrow at midnight. Yeah, actually Thursday at midnight, which is
Thursday the 24th. How about we say that?
Yeah.
So we because people are going to be watching this at different times.
Well, yeah, because this will get posted tomorrow, right?
Yes.
So for the viewers out there, I'm recording this the day before I post it because I got to edit and stuff like that. And I just confused myself.
No, exactly. The kickoff call will be recorded, so it will be available. So no fears. And it's a beautiful opportunity to not only benefit from this, because this isn't, as I said, this isn't just me going and, oh, I need to create a program for what the hell. Am I allowed to say that? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a farmer. It pops out at times.
Yeah, we're not controlled by the FCC. We're good.
Good to know. This is literally the culmination of years and years and years of researching. And as I said, first to heal my sons and myself, And then I used it for years with my clients, my patients, and then decided to bring it to the masses. And I felt so strongly about it that I gave up my private practice. That was, very successful. I was doing quite well. And I was still helping one person at a time. I could have kept doing that. I was getting miracles. I was like known as like the last resort person, because I specialize in severe complicated cases, whether it's somebody with a catastrophic brain injury or a condition that nobody else has been able to heal. So in other words, I was doing a lot of good and found fulfillment in my private practice.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't fulfilling the commitment. And in part one, I talked about why I started all of this and the commitment I made to myself when I laid in that hospital bed with 10 broken bones, having crashed and burned, that I needed to prevent as many people and families as possible from suffering what my family and I did. And hopefully, or if they did hit the wall like I did, show them that there is hope and show them a way back. And so everything is scientifically validated, and just to give you an idea of the benefits, these are the separate ones. Decreasing your body age by an average of over 10 years. In other words, looking and feeling over 10 years younger. And that's not just looking like face looking, like literally, like the research that was done on that score was where they looked at turgidity in the skin, they looked at blood pressure, they looked at, like, in other words, very physical parameters for that one. Then there is decreasing your stress and your stress hormones and chemicals by not even the 30 days that we did, like even within an hour or so of working through it's called tapping. I come at it from an acupuncture standpoint, mm-hmm. is the decreasing your cortisol hormone and stress chemicals by almost 25%. That's with 1 hour. We're doing 30 days. Upregulating, that's a fancy name for turning on your immune system genes. Decreasing your inflammation and pain in your body, helping you sleep better, down regulating, shutting off your cancer genes, the decreasing your cravings by like 75%, helping you lose weight because stress sucks on the weight, right? COVID 15 or 20, right? It's not just comfort food. It's like your body feels that you're in survival mode. So it has to like hold on to the weight because you never know when there's not going to be food, right? That's the physiological response behind it. So all of these benefits have already been proven elsewhere. And at the same time, because I'm creating something new, bringing them together, incorporating, I'm a neurophysiological meditation instructor and have been for over 30 years. And I have like 11 meditations on the app Insight Timer that over, I think, 120,000 people have benefited from. I have, so I incorporate that. But again, it's not type meditation, right? It's, remember, fast, like what can you do in the fastest, easiest, most powerful way? Like, in other words, what can you do in 30 seconds to help reset and calm and center? What can you do when you're about to go into an interview or an exam, or when your kids are driving you crazy because you're homeschooling and trying to work at home as well, right? All of these. It incorporates tapping. Emotional freedom technique is what it's called. I do acupuncture in my practice. So I come at it from an acupuncture standpoint. In other words, energy flow and the knowledge that when we talk traditional Chinese medicine, that there is associated with every meridian is, yes, the physical side, an organ or a system, but it's also what emotions are associated with it, right? And yes, it's all energy flow. And our bodies run on electromagnetic energy. It's not just spiritual that they're talking about. So I incorporate far more into it than just the the recipe of points that are typically in emotional freedom technique. And that's not dissing that. I always do my own thing. I am incorporating subliminal audios. Subliminal just means under the level of conscious hearing. And so, and it's affirmations, prosperity, success, well-being affirmations. I have created my own unique binaural beats that are based on the healing frequency of the brain, 40 hertz. Again, that's scientifically validated by one of my friends, Dr. Lee Bartell at the University of Toronto. He's done major work and continuing to do scientific research on how that frequency can help Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases. So I have created binaural beats so you get that baseline healing. And again, for anybody who's seen an EEG, we know that your brain waves differ, right? So, and when we're under stress, we're in what's called high beta. In other words, you're like, right? Whereas you need to get down into alpha, the relaxed state, to just to be productive, right? I know it's like I talk with my hands, right?
Yeah.
And then theta, the next step lower, is that hypnotic state. Hypnotic meaning, think of like a child who's like a sponge. Their brain waves are primarily theta, even though they're wide awake. And that is how a child is able to learn, multiple languages all at once and learn so much, right? They are literally just a sponge.
Wow.
That is the theta brainwave state that's doing it. And then of course, delta is sleep. So I have binaural beats that I've created depending on what we want them to do to really bring you into that state. Again, quickly, fast, powerfully. I've incorporated all of these tools and more into this training. And because I want to I can't say prove, because that's not scientific to say I'm going to prove it. You have to say you're going to disprove it. I need to see the efficacy, to use that fancy word, of this training. And so I am running this research edition of the training program. And I'll take those results and write the white paper for it and use that information that I'll unscientifically now say will prove just how effective this is, so that we can take it and show to departments, whether they're police departments or other first responders, or I'd love this to be taught in medical schools. Yeah. And to other doctors and our health providers and everybody who has been under the gun, teachers. Yep. Right? To our children. I actually have a draft of a children's resilience program that would be based on this. In other words, brought to them at their age. And so the research to me, because I am a very scientific geek, is all about showing just how effective it is, and then bringing that and saying, here, help these people. And training other doctors, other providers, other coaches in this technique, so that then they can go and help and help and help. Because my big, hairy, audacious legacy vision is that by the time I die, which hopefully isn't tomorrow.
Yep.
Because I might be a little tight on this timeline if that were the case, is that I have empowered billions to transform their lives and well-being, directly or indirectly. In other words, I don't have to touch everyone. Right. It's that ripple effect. Yep. Bob, you're aware of that, right? So it's like, it's understanding that all I need to do is help these people, and then that's going to transform their lives, and then they can go and help and help and help and help. And that is also we are all connected.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it sounds incredible, and I am looking forward to it. I'm going to be joining the research program, and I highly recommend anybody who's listening to this right now. Hopefully you're listening to it on Thursday, the 24th, because you'll have until midnight to sign up. And if you go back to the LinkedIn post of mine where we had part one, there'll be links in the comments and as well as in the post itself for you to get to wherever you need to get to find out more about this. So let me ask this
Awesome.
question.
Yes.
So we've been talking for almost an hour now, including our pre-chat, and I know you're running out of time because you have your call at 5 p.m. your time, which is an hour from now. So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I forgot where my question was going.
Brain fart.
Yeah, it really was. Really quickly, you've really put together an amazing group of people to help you with this.
Yes.
Let's just talk about them really quick and in their various backgrounds and how you see them all fitting together. Because one of the things that I was really impressed with, number one, I knew a few of them already and connected with them already. So I was like, wow, cool. I know some cool people. And number two, how well they were all interconnected and just how many different bases you're covering with this program. You know what I mean? I mean, that to me, that's incredible because I know your heart's in with first responders, right? I know your heart's in with those people that are in the front line. I get that, and they need help too. But I see this impacting so many more people, like you said, teachers, as an example, business people, right? Even entrepreneurs, right? You're an entrepreneur yourself now, but even then, it's so much stress starting out a business, right? And keeping it going, especially in these times. So I just see it benefiting everybody. And one of the things that really amazed me during our live when we were going through all the participants that you have involved in this, you cover all the bases, not just first responders, but all the bases. Let's talk about that just a little bit.
I would love to. I'd love to highlight my team. I am a firm believer that, and it's also quantum physics. It's not just frou-frou, the law of attraction, right? What you focus on, you find. It's actually called the observer effect in quantum physics. And so I am a firm believer that I have attracted in my dream team of rock stars. And I know I'm not done. And because, as you say, there are so many segments that I have not attracted in yet. The person you mentioned, one, teachers. So if there's any teachers listening that this really resonates with, or people that coach teachers, drop a line and talk with me. I'd be happy to. So right now we are primarily, our team is heavy on the first responder side, the health provider side. And at the same time, it's also for, as I'll be a geek again and say, the real life heroes. In other words, if you feel that you have a calling, if you feel that you have a purpose, if you are helping others, however that looks, then, and that includes entrepreneurs, right? Our entrepreneurs and small business owners, they are the backbone of our society, probably most stressed out as well. And it's most certainly. And so, yes, we have you covered. And even if we don't have teachers on the team right now or other entrepreneurs, we still have you covered, guaranteed. And so who we have right now as a part of our dream team are, I'll mention one you know and love dearly, Ms. Johnny Reddick. Johnny is, she is a leadership coach. She is a former police officer and assistant chief with the California State Parole. And she, especially as a female, she rose to the ranks, like she was like the top 1%. In what, if you want to look at it this way, is like in the country is like $1 billion industry. So there's like, you want to talk corporate right there. We also have Dr. Obid Magni, who is, again, a police officer and has his PhD in psychology and specializes in emotional intelligence. And between the two of them, they really are the world-class go-to leadership trainers that, so whether it's policing, first responders, or just leadership in general, it's understanding what is needed to grow the best leaders. And that includes in their communication, especially during challenging times. It includes their influence on their teams. It includes how they show up moment to moment, day to day, and lead by example. So I am so jazzed that we have Dr. Obed and Johnny on board. Then we have on the health side, we have Dr. Dan Carlicchio, who is a doctor of chiropractic. He is a functional medicine and nutritional expert, adjunct professor at Bridgeport University in Connecticut. So again, really, truly bringing, between him and myself, bringing that comprehensive Eastern and Western medical background to the health provider side. And yes, the entrepreneurial, because both of us as doctors have, well, he still does, owns his own practices and very aware of what it takes to do the day in, day out with no security and all the uncertainty that goes with it, as well as the calling. Then, because we know that most people's, there was like a stat that recently just came out that most people are stressed and challenged by their financial picture right now. And that I don't know about you, Bob, but I don't know of anyone that I've ever met who has gone, yeah, no, it's okay. I don't have it. I'm fine. I don't need any more money.
Yeah, I don't know. I read an interesting article yesterday that 60% of millennials live paycheck to paycheck. 60%. That's insane.
I would bet it's way more than just millennials.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This article focused on millennials, obviously, but still.
Right. And it's understanding that is the greatest wound and the greatest challenge, which means it's also the greatest stress. And stress is not just mental and emotional, right? In other words, that's what causes burnout. And burnout is, again, not just mental and emotion. That's why, pet peeve, World Health Organization says that burnout is just mental and emotional and workplace related. Whereas I thought I was on top of the world, so I didn't have any of the mental and emotional, and I had all the physical, right? I developed a silent condition I didn't know about, right, that caused me to lose consciousness in my crash and burn. And so one reason why I chose to focus on success in this program is understanding that is the practicality of what we're facing. Mm-hmm. Right. And I get it. I was raised dirt poor, like below the poverty line, and, single mom who worked and scavenged and did without to give us everything that she could. And even though she was the head of a medical hospital department, made less than the poverty line at the time. Right. I get it. There've been times when I've gone searching for coins in the cushions of the couch, like just to buy, food kind of thing. So I'm not some holier than thou saying thou shalt do this. I understand completely. And because of that, that's why we're focusing on the success first before saying you need to look after your health and energy. People, I forget that. I need to bring money into the house or I'm not going to be able to live to worry about my health and energy. And we've also brought on Lance Karnowich, who is a financial coach and expert in helping corporations, and whether it's small, mid, large size companies, public, private sector, really turn their finances around, helping individuals create those budgets. And so we have Lance on board, who's going to be contributing to the team. And as Johnny lovingly says, like Jamba Juice, right? The success without sacrifice training is the base Jamba Juice, and then we all have our specialties that we can parachute in, and like little shot of the financial, a little shot of the leadership, right? So we have all that. And then currently and last but not least, the final member of our coaching team is Kimberly Nolan, who is a certified human success operating system coach. In other words, she's all about helping you upgrade your mind's operating system. And so she's going to be helping me on that side of it.
Wow, cool.
Delivering that. So that is our team as it stands. And I also recognize that I'm attracting in more and more, and will be helping us.
Yeah, and that's the wonderful part of what you're doing. I think it just resonates so well with everyone, and that's why I really wanted to do this, apart from the 10-minute coffee with Bob that I normally do, and apart from the live that we did, because I felt like this message is so important, and it's going to impact a lot of people. So once again, registration for this upcoming program is open until midnight, June 24th, which is today, Thursday. Remember that because of that recording. There'll be links for everything. If they're not up in the body of the post itself, they will be in the comments below of LinkedIn. I'll also have them in the body and comments of this YouTube video as well too. So I want to try to get the word out as much as possible. Tell your family, tell your friends. This is something that's going to have a major impact. Now, I probably before I keep pushing it to everybody, is there a limit on the capacity for this first program?
Not per se. What everyone who joins the program, the training, I prefer to call it training, so that they understand that this is work, that they need to commit to, is that it is a research project.
Okay.
And so understand, that's why I'm clear about what the time commitment is. In other words, it's approximately 15 minutes a day with weekly 1-hour trainings that are live right now. And after this will be recorded as part of the program. And for those who are in the VIP level, it'll also include group coaching calls right now with me, later on with our experts. Mm-hmm. And so there is a time commitment to it and a small price to pay for transforming your life. The benefit, aside from transforming your life, is that because it is a research edition, it's something like 90% off what the value and what it will be like. So in other words, once we roll this out to the public, after we have that white paper in our hands, then it will be full price.
Okay. Awesome.
And so that's the biggest. And I'm not a big scarcity person. I hate pushing something and saying that, act now or you're going to lose blah, blah, blah. No, it's just a fact. I'm a firm believer. If you are meant to take this and it resonates with you right now, wonderful, because you're going to get benefit upon benefit upon benefit. And if it doesn't resonate with you right now, whether it's because you're thinking, hey, I'm great, I'm doing fine, or I just want to enjoy my summer, or whatever it happens to be, maybe it'll resonate with you in the future. Just right now, as my thank you with the research edition, and having, there's my dog talking with us, the new reality, right?
Yeah.
I'm offering the as low as I can go with the price, because this is privately funded. I don't have a research grant behind me to do this.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. It'll come.
Yeah, it'll come. I believe that. So, okay, so awesome. So the links will be in the YouTube post. Links are in my LinkedIn profile and post. Check out Dr. Irene Cup on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, it's Dr. Now you're asking me what I know what Instagram, it's Dr. period Irene C is my handle on Instagram.
Awesome. Okay.
There's also Dr. Irene on Facebook. I just can't remember the actual, what the link
Right.
is.
Most people know how to use Facebook and how to do a search and find you if they need to. I'll have all that information on the LinkedIn post in the comments of YouTube here too. Dr. Irene, thank you so much for doing this extended version of Coffee with Bob with me. I really appreciate it. I've
Thank
not
you.
done this one anybody yet. This is my first time.
Oh, wow. I'm so honored.
Well, yeah, because
Thank you.
I just feel it's so important. And after we stop recording, there's a couple of things I want to just touch base with you real quick because there are some people that I really want to introduce you to. So
thank you.
Thank you all for joining us on this extended version of Coffee with Bob. I really appreciate it. Feel free to comment. Feel free to share this everywhere that you can. Share this with anyone you think that could benefit from this. And I think just about everyone can benefit from something like this, especially now. As we're coming out of COVID and it's still stressful and everybody's getting afraid of the new variant that's coming out. This is going to do anything. It's going to help you out. It's going to make you better. And I'm personally looking forward to it. And I can't wait for the initial call later this afternoon. So thank you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right.